Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a my 2 cent video, Nintendo/gaming video for the week of June 25th to July 1st. Though, hopefully you guys are gearing up for having a enjoyable and safe, maybe 4th of July and all. Some of you might be going out with friends or family. Some might, whatever it might be. Hopefully, it is a happy and safe 4th of July, though. Also, obviously, a lot of us have been hearing what's been going on with the FTC versus the Microsoft Activision deal, though. A lot of stuff floating around right now. I am very curious to see how the FTC judge is going to rule on this case. To be exact, though, based on what I've been hearing so far, it sounds like the judge is not entirely convinced of what the FTC is saying. Still, we've seen some surprises before during this whole saga, and we'll see what the judge rules. I think it's possible we might hear a verdict next week, but we'll find out if that is the case or not. But anyway, we got 4 stories to cover on this one, including confusion around whether or not Starfield will get a physical edition. Rumors going around about basically the possibility that the first Red Dead Redemption could get the remaster treatment, though. The NPD, or formerly the NPD, numbers are out for May, and of course YouTube could be taking a shot at video games and all. If you're interested in where I got this information and all, links will be in the description of this video, so you can watch this on YouTube. But before we get started, I like to do what I like to call the quick my 2 cent stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail. So the first one has to be that apparently the Sonic boss has talked about the possibility that they could consider bringing back, Knights or Burning Rangers, some IPs that has been dormant for quite some time. Knights, I do think, got a Wii port back, I think, in 2007. But outside of that, Sega hasn't really paid attention to those IPs, though. Maybe we might see them make a shot, maybe at some point down the road. We know they've been talking about pushing for these so-called super games and everything like that. So we'll see if that happens or not. Not to mention, Sega has responded in saying that they're not interested in being purchased this time. Though this has to do with, during the whole trial, how Microsoft was considering buying Sega. Sega is saying no at this time, but they are claiming they have have a good partnership with Microsoft and everything like that. We also learned that supposedly the leaker that's basically leaked out the information regarding Persona 3 Reload, the remake of Persona 3. It's basically saying that there is no Nintendo Switch plan at this time, and that Metaphor is unlikely to come to the Nintendo Switch. Granted, nothing is confirmed at this very moment, but it would not surprise me if that turns out to be true and everything like that, though. So it is, again, nothing confirmed, but it wouldn't shock me if it turns out to be true. We also learned about the Switch physical edition of the Batman Arkham trilogy, and while it's not the best news out there regarding this, it's not the worst one either, as it has now been reported that in terms of there will be a physical edition, but it will be kind of like similar to what we saw with the Borderlands Legendary Collection, where in this case, one game will be on the cartridge, but the other 2 will have to be, you have to download them, though. It's, again, a mixed bag on this one. Yes, we're actually getting a physical version. Yes, there will be a game in the cartridge, but it will only be the first game and all. So, kind of mixed for some folks. Some people are going to like this news, some people are going to hate this news. I am kind of curious to see how the games are going to run on the Switch, particularly Arkham Knights, because I've heard stories of how that one didn't exactly run as well as some have hoped for, particularly when the game launched back on the PC, although I'm sure the PC version is probably, thanks to several updates or patches, might be better than when it was when it originally launched. But we now know what the situation is going to be for the Arkham trilogy for the Nintendo Switch. We also learned that Xbox is apparently working on a promotion with the upcoming Barbie movie, and apparently they're going to be giving away basically what looks like an Xbox Series S, sort of like a design, looking like Barbie's dream house and everything like that. It's basically a collector's edition. Again, nothing that clicks with me, but I'm sure there are folks who are willing to buy it. On top of that, it looks like Forza Horizon 5 will get free content, and you will be able to drive Barbie's car in Forza Horizon 5. Again, it's free content. I can't argue against that. And you know what? I know some people are going to hate me for saying this, but if they're going to have you drive the Barbie car in Forza Horizon 5, they need to play the Aqua song, the Barbie girl song, if you're going to be driving the car every single time. I know some people are going to hate me for saying that, but hey, you're going to have the Barbie car in Forza Horizon 5. Why not Aqua's Barbie girl song on there, though? We also learned that Shakira Furka, if I'm saying his name correctly, apology, I'm not saying it correct, has basically said that the Switch successor will utilize the Nintendo account system. This is a whole, My Nintendo or something like that, for basically their next system and all. Obviously, they're thinking about what to do to bring the folks who purchased the Switch over to what Nintendo's next system may be. I still think it's still going to stick with the hybrid handheld and console concept, but who knows if that will be the case, though. This has definitely been one of the sticking points of how they're going to handle the Switch successor, particularly backwards compatibility. So we'll see if Nintendo can handle this or not, but for right now, it looks like they're trying to work and figure out how to utilize this going forward with, the Switch's successor and all. And last but not least, it seems as though that the studio that's working on the upcoming Baldur's Gate 3 is saying that they may have to make compromises for the Xbox Series S version. This has to do with one of the policies Microsoft set up, saying that it has to have the same kind of stuff on both the Series X and the Series S, though. There have been some complaints back and forth about the Series S. Some developers are complaining about the development of this. Others have a different perspective on this. But the studio did mention that the team over from Xbox, particularly Microsoft, have come over to sort of help them out a little bit and all. So we'll see. Maybe there'll be a way to figure this out to make sure the game runs as smooth as possible, both on the Series S, though, since they're going to be bringing both to X and S, however. And last but not least, though, on the movie and TV show side of the My Two Cent, that is, we are learning that basically there were two trailers that were dropped this week. First one was the return of Futurama that will be premiering on Hulu. I'm looking forward to watching that show. Futurama was definitely a enjoyable show, to be exact, though. It has a history of being alive, canceled. It was on Fox, then it got canceled, then we had several movies. Excuse me. Then it was on Comedy Central. It was also on Adult Swim. So now it's coming to Hulu. This wouldn't be the only show we saw a revival. I mean, Animaniacs saw a revival on Hulu as well. So definitely looking forward to watching Futurama on Hulu. And of course, a second trailer for Dune Part 2 has dropped. I've seen the IMAX one. I am definitely looking forward to seeing this movie. I did enjoy the first Dune Part 1. I watched it on Max, and I am definitely looking forward to watching this. I am definitely willing to watch this one in IMAX, though. Certain movies I will watch in IMAX, some I won't, though. Some of it might be time-wise, but this is one of those cases where I think it's worth watching in IMAX. Same with, like Avatar and Avengers Infinity War and Endgames and all. We also learned that basically they have found their new Superman and Lois Lane for the upcoming so-called Superman Legacy movie. This is sort of the rebooted DC Cinematic Universe. This is being handled by James Gunn and everything like that. We're going to see how well these actors will portray Superman and whether or not they could get a DC movie off to a good start. The last one, The Flash, unfortunately, it doesn't sound like it did very well at the box office. Some of that, there could be multiple factors. Some of it could be, the actor who played the Flash had several issues behind the scenes, mostly offset and everything like that. So we'll see if this one pays off, though. I mean, James Gunn has his work cut out for him, but I did enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, so who knows? He might actually be able to pull off a good DC cinematic universe, but time will ultimately tell. We also learned that CNN content will be, or CNN live content will be making its way over to Max and everything. This is mostly has to do with the fact, the whole AT&T Time Warner and sort of reshuffling certain parts of Max, formerly what's called HBO Max, now called Max and everything. Some CNN content has made its way over, such as I think I think the one show with former Fox News host Chris Wallace has made its way over there. Whether this will work or not, that remains to be seen at this time. And last but not least, we had several actors, including the one who's playing Captain America in the Captain America 4 movie, has been speaking out about Jonathan Major and the recent assault, the arrest he has of basically assaulting a woman and all. Granted, right now, it's still up in the air whether or not he will continue to play Krang, especially in the upcoming, the Krang Dynasty, Avengers 5 and everything. And it also throws a wrench of what's going to happen with, Loki Season 2 and all. Right now, it remains to be seen whether he will stay with Marvel or not. Some are saying, I think one of them said that he believes in the whole "you're innocent until proven guilty," which is true. I don't disagree with that, though. I do believe in the whole "you're innocent until proven guilty." However, when you have more than one person coming out making allegations, though, let's just say it becomes very, very difficult to claim you are innocent, though. Again, we'll see what happens with the courts, and we'll see how this all plays out and all. And it's going to be very interesting to see what Marvel decides to do, since we know that Avengers 5 has been pushed back into, I believe it was originally, 2025, now pushed into 2026. So we'll see what happens. Time will tell whether Jonathan Major will still be part of the MCU or not, based on this whole allegation situations. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure they saw what happened with the whole situation that with the former the Flash actor and all. Okay, with the quick my 2 cent part now done, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with YouTube, particularly gaming though. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware this January, earlier this year, Google shut down Stadia. Basically, what Stadia was Google's attempt to entering the gaming market, though. Basically, being able to play your games via, the cloud and everything. Like they had games like Metro, the Metro series, to basically Red Dead Redemption and all. But the service had a struggle and had a hard time trying to attract an audience, though. The concept wasn't bad, but Google did not have the best reputation when it comes to their products. Eventually, they have a history of shutting them down, henceforth the Google graveyard and all. And, well, there was also questions about some of the decisions Google was making, including shutting down some of the studios that they purchased or the people that they hired, to basically some comments of making like people don't play single-player games, which is technically not true at all, or the fact that you see more people more into single-player games than they were before, though. Well, now it seems as though that YouTube might be taking a shot at gaming, though, and it's going to be very interesting to see if they can pull this off or not. In an article from Video Game Chronicles, though, it reads that Google is reportedly testing a product to play games via YouTube. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, which unfortunately is behind a paywall, though, citing an internal email sent to employees at parent company Google. The new product, which is called Playable, gives users a chance to play games on mobile devices or desktop computers via the video streaming platform. Playable will reportedly allow players to play games instantly via the YouTube app on mobile devices, similar to Stadia. This is the latest foray into video games from Google, following Google Stadia, a cloud-based platform that allows players to stream their library inside Chrome, as well as Comcast and other similar devices. It's currently unclear if Playable will harness the same technology used by Stadia, and it's also unclear if the scope of Playable will go beyond basic titles at this stage. Google has previously attempted to reuse Stadia technology by offering it to third parties such as fitness giants Peloton, if I'm saying the name correctly, to offer gamified versions of their workout via cloud, but that has also been shut down, and they closed, Stadia. They announced it in basically September 2022 when they announced they were going to close Stadia at all. Whether this will take off or not, that remains to be seen. I mean, there were attempts to try to utilize YouTube and mix it in, bring Stadia features to YouTube features to Stadia and all. That never really materialized, though. I mean, yes, it could succeed, but again, this is Google we're talking about, and given their past history, I'm not 100% sure this one is going to work or not. Obviously, they're doing a test run to see whether it can work or not, but I'm not holding my breath on this. It's really a shame, though, because Google definitely had a really neat idea with Stadia, though. The concept certainly wasn't bad, but it was a hard sell. They had an uphill battle with Stadia, and unfortunately it met its demise, and I just don't know if this playable in terms of what they're doing with YouTube, particularly with gaming, is going to work or not. Time will ultimately tell, and we'll see if it does end up seeing the light of day or not. But overall, it sounds like Google is going to try gaming again, this time with YouTube though, but given Google's history and given the whole Google graveyard, I'm going to say don't hold your breath on this one. I could be wrong, but like I said, given their history, I don't have a lot of confidence on this. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, and this one has to do with the Circana, or the formerly known as the NPD, as they release their information for June 2023. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Circana, or formerly known as the NPD, as they have released their numbers and how things went for June 2023. Now, I think there were a couple things I was looking at to see how well that was, and that one was obviously Tears of the Kingdom, and the other one was basically how maybe some of the Mario games might do following we're talking about the Mario movie that was in theaters and doing extraordinarily well at the box office, to be exact. So I was very curious to see how those things would play out, and apparently it seems Tears of the Kingdom definitely got off to a very good start in May, though. In terms of the charts, this is what we're hearing right now, and that is in terms of the top best-selling games for May 2023 in the US, we have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at number 1, Hogwarts Legacy at number 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor at number 3, last month it was at number 1, Dead Island 2 at number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 at number 5, last month it was at number 5, so it didn't move or anything like that, MLB The Show 23 at number 6, FIFA 23 at number 7, Mario Kart 8 at number 8, no pun intended though, Resident Evil 4 2023 at number 9, Far Cry 6 at number 10, Elden Ring at number 11, Minecraft at number 12, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at number 13, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at number 14, Madden NFL 23 at number 15, God of War Ragnarok at number 16, New Super Mario Bros. At number 17, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at number 18, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga at number 19, and Super Mario 3D World at number 20. So some Mario games managed to make it into this list. Some of them did, or at least some did though, but and they might have seen a boost because of the success the movie has been doing, so that might have been it, but obviously the big winner is Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Off to a good start. It'll be interesting to see what next month is going to be, though. They also point out that Breath of the Wild likely jumped from 28th thanks to the fans' anticipation, I'm sorry if I'm saying that name correctly, for the Tears of the Kingdom launch, which wouldn't surprise me, though, because it's at number 13, though. It'll be interesting to see where that ranks next month, now that we'll have a whole month of, Tears of the Kingdom already out for everyone to be trying out. As far as the best-selling games of 2022 so far, the 20 best, they have Hogwarts Legacy at number 1, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom at number 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 at number 3, Star Wars Jedi Survivor at number 4, Resident Evil 4 2023 at number 5, MLB The Show 23 at number 6, Dead Island 2 at number 7, FIFA 23 at number 8, Dead Space 2023 at number 9, Madden NFL 23 at number 10, Elden Ring at number 11, The Last of Us Part 1 at number 12, Mario Kart 8 at number 13, God of War Ragnarok at number 14, Minecraft at number 15, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at number 16, Fire Emblem Engage at number 17, Sonic Frontiers at number 18, Forspoken at number 19, and MLB 2K 23 at number 20. They also mentioned that they don't Nintendo doesn't have digital sales to factor into these charts, so it's likely Tears of the Kingdom is running even with, or possibly even overtaking Hogwarts Legacy in sales. I mean, yeah, if you add in the digital sales of it, though, it's possible it could be running even with Hogwarts Legacy or overtaking Hogwarts Legacy. Meanwhile, in terms of the hardware, according to Matt Piscatella, he basically has tweeted out, and this is on June 27th, basically saying that Switch was the best-selling hardware platform in both units and dollar sales during May 2023. Consumer spending on Switch hardware reached an all-time May high for the platform, while unit sales were second highest even for the platform in a May month, trailing only May 2020. I think some of that obviously was Tears of the Kingdom, but obviously it's possible that the Mario movie may have had an impact, especially those who are picking up some of these Mario games and everything like that. Meanwhile, they also mentioned that, quote, PlayStation 5 continues to lead the 2023 hardware market across both units and dollars. He also concluded with The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Series 1 Amiibo Collection Pack led May accessories in unit sales. So obviously the takeaway from basically May's 2023's sales charts for video games is obviously Tears of the Kingdom was out. It was basically the big winner for May, though, and there was a lot of hype and anticipation for Tears of the Kingdom and all. I was sort of curious to see if there was going to be a jump in maybe some sales of Mario games, like as I mentioned, because of the success of the Mario movie was doing at the box office, though. Some jump, but not basically a huge one, though. But I am going to be curious to see how things will play out when Super Mario Wonder comes out in October, and whether or not we would see that how well that game will do in terms of sales-wise, and whether or not the Mario movie will have carried into October, where those who saw the movie will think about picking up Super Mario Wonders or not, though. Speaking of which, for October and September, I am very curious to see how the sales charts will be during those 2 months, because of basically outside of Super Mario Wonder, we're also having the big release of Spider-Man 2 and of course Starfield as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what comes out of the sales charts for those two games once they make their appearance in September and October, barring any major delay or anything like that. So overall, I would say Tears of the Kingdom obviously was the big winner for May of 2023, though. You could say some of the Mario games were mostly because of, the success of the Mario movie and all, but Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was obviously the big winner. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see what July and August have to show on the sales charts, though, but I think the big one's going to be September and October once Starfield comes out, along with Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonders as well. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 3, and this one has to do with the reports seem to indicate that the first Red Dead Redemption might get the remaster treatment. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one we're going to be taking a look at a interesting report that seems to come out that Red Dead Redemption could get a remaster or possibly a remake treatment, though. Now, to me, the Red Dead Redemption, though, particularly 1 and 2, are definitely fun games. I tend to enjoy that one maybe a little bit more than the Grand Theft Auto games. Not that Grand Theft Auto is bad, it's just that I don't know, it just for some reason you get sort of like a Quentin Tarantino vibe out of those games, to be exact. And they are definitely fun games indeed, though. But Rockstar has sort of been focusing more and more on, GTA more, particularly with GTA Online, though. And there was sort of an attempt to bring some of their older titles to current systems, though. They did try to do this with the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, but that did not exactly go over very well, as there were technical issues, particularly on the Nintendo Switch version. It was then later reported that because of the backlash the GTA Definitive Edition got and how those games were handled, there were reports that Rockstar has basically hit the pause or scrapped any plans to do any more future remasters or remakes, and mostly put all hands on deck with Grand Theft Auto 6, though. Well, now it seems to be that someone spotted something on a Korean ratings board, though, that seemed to indicate that Rockstar might be considering doing another shot with this, maybe as a remake or a remaster and all. In an article from GameSpot, it reads that, quote, Rockstar's Red Dead Redemption could be getting a re-release if a new age rating online is any indication. As spotted by Gamatsu, the game's rating and administration of Korea published a new ratings for Red Dead Redemption on June 15. The rating is classified with the number CCNV230615-001, in which the NV bits refer to console gaming. This might mean Rockstar has plans for Red Dead Redemption, such as creating a remaster for current consoles. Red Dead Redemption was originally first released in 2010 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. It was never ported to PC or any other consoles, including PS4, PS5, Xbox One, or Xbox Series X and S, although it is worth pointing out that the game is available on the last time I checked, on the Xbox storefront via backwards compatibility, though. Even though the Korean rating only notes the console games, that doesn't mean a PC version is out of the question either, though. It is worth pointing out that neither Rockstar nor anybody has confirmed this at the same time. However, it is worth pointing out the Korean rating board does have a history of being spot on about some of the games that might be coming to consoles and everything like that. So it's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. As for what my take on this remaster of Red Dead Redemption, I'm kind of mixed on this to a certain degree, though. While I'm not opposed to the idea of remaking Red Dead Redemption or remastering it, though, after how the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition was handled, I have very deep concerns, because I feel as though there's a good chance they might end up making the same mistake they did with the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and that they didn't learn anything with that debacle of the mess. Not to mention their piss poor response to how some folks were not happy with how that collection was exactly handled. So I have very serious concerns about the idea of that with Red Dead Redemption. On the other hand, I'm not against the idea of either a remake or at least a remaster and bringing it over to today's consoles, including the Nintendo Switch, if that is a possibility. In fact, if I had to guess which one I think has a better shot or has a better chance of coming to the Switch, I would say the first Red Dead Redemption over Red Dead Redemption 2. At least that's how I am seeing it. But we'll have to wait and see whether or not this does turn out to be true or not. Again, the Korean rating board has a history of getting things right, although there's no denying they could be wrong on this. And I definitely am not opposed to the idea of remaster or remaking this game, but like I said, how they handled the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, that kind of, there's concerns right there. So overall, very mixed on this announcement, though. Part of me wants it to be true, but part of me also saw what happened with the GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, and it does raise some concerns about how this remaster or remake would be handled, given how they handled that game, to be exact, assuming if this report is true or not, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with some confusion surrounding Starfield, particularly if there was going to be a physical version or not. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My Two Cent video. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Starfield, particularly the physical editions, to be exact. Now, obviously, September is going to be a big month for Xbox and Bethesda, as Starfield, the highly anticipated game from Bethesda, will be released, barring any last-minute delay or anything like that, though. And there have been some questions about in regards to the physical version, to be exact. And recently, there was a tweet that came out before that recently pointed out that all versions all will be only digital only, though. This creates certain questions, particularly for those who pre-ordered the game, was hoping to get a physical copy of it, though. Now, that tweet was posted on Twitter, was then later deleted, and there was circulation of the fact that that may not be true to a certain extent, though. And now it seems as though the Bethesda has sort of clarified this. So it's kind of both good news and bad news depending on which version of Starfield you are planning to get, though. There have been several articles on this, but an update from basically from Game Radar is basically clarifies this. It says that, quote, Bethesda has now confirmed that the Starfield Standard Edition will include a physical disc, but it appears that that's not the case for the expensive Premium and Constellation Edition. Bethesda's official support account has tweeted a clarification knowing that there is a game disc with the physical purchase of the Xbox Standard Edition, though. They're saying here's hoping the entire game is on the disc, unlike what happened with Xbox's own Halo Infinite. As you expect, the PC Standard Edition simply comes with a code in a box. What you might not expect, however, is that even the Xbox version of the Premium and Constellation Edition simply comes with a game code. That makes some amount of sense since these versions offer 5 days of early access to Starfield, but it comes with a steelbook display case. They're saying yes, that's an empty steelbook case for you to put on your shelf. So good news is that the fact that we will have a physical version. So for those who were worried this was going to be just an empty box with just a code, then you can breathe some sigh of relief. You could basically get the physical version. Whether or not it's going to be what happened with Halo Infinite for those who picked up the physical version or not remains to be seen, but yes, there will be a physical version. However, according to what I pointed out, or for at least for what was in the article, the Constellation or the Premium Edition, however, will not have that, though, most only because they'll have a code where you can basically have early access to the game, though, which, I mean, on one hand, that makes sense, but on the other hand, it seems like a waste of money. Like, what was the point buying the Constellation or the Collector's Edition if it's not going to have the game? It's kind of sort of similar to what we saw a couple years ago when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. They had a collector's box, but no game in it or anything like that. It was just junk and everything. So this one is definitely sort of a mixed bag, to be exact. You do have the game coming to the Standard Edition, but not the Constellation or the Premium or the Constellation Edition, which means, to me, it feels more like you might as well just get the Standard Edition and all. Yes, you're not going to get early access or a season pass right away in terms of getting the expansion pack or anything like that, but that one has the physical versions, the other ones don't. So, but for me, though, either case, I have an Xbox Series S. I'm going to try the game via Game Pass to see if it's worth the time or money, to be exact. So for me, I'm going with the digital version, mostly VI through Game Pass, though. But overall, I would say this is sort of both good and bad news for physical owners, though. Good news for those who want to pick up the physical version of Starfield. They'll be able to play through their Xbox Series X and all. Bad news for those who are playing or thinking about getting the Premium and the Constellation Edition, as it's basically going to be an empty box, but at least you'll have early access to the game to a certain degree. So this one, you could say it's both good and bad to a certain degree, though. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about YouTube taking a shot at gaming? Do you think YouTube has a good chance to make it succeed? Do you think they have a better chance than what Stadia does, or do you think it will suffer the same fate as what happened with Google Stadia? In other words, joining the Google graveyard. What are your thoughts about the sales charts for May 2023 though? Were you surprised to see Tears of the Kingdom make it at the #1 spot though? Were you expecting that? Were you thinking that some Mario games would do better, or you thought they did fine, especially since the Mario movie was at that time still in the box office in any way? Are you curious to see what September and October might be, especially when we have Starfield, Spider-Man 2, and Super Mario Wonders coming out in the fall? What are your thoughts about this rumor about the possibility of a Red Dead Redemption remake or remaster? Do you think this remake or remaster should happen? Do you have a lot of faith that Rockstar will learn from their mistake from what happened with the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition? Or do you feel like they'll make the same mistake like they did with, like what happened with the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition? And what are your thoughts about the clarification in terms of the physical version of Starfield? Does this make you want to pick up the physical version in any way though? And if so, are you going to go with the standard edition, or are you going to go with the premium or consolation edition, despite the fact that there won't be a physical disc in there? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, so you'll be watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, wish you all a good day then. Bye.